Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome up next well, he's just a legend of the club. It's as simple as that. He's probably our greatest player ever, one of the most decorated footballers ever to play the game, 260 games, of course, as a player. Collingwood captain, a record 161 times. Brownlow medalist, Copeland Trophy winner on 6 occasions. Norm Smith medalist, All-Australian on 7 occasions. A man who also represents the Collingwood Football Club with great distinction. 7th season as senior coach of the Collingwood Football Club. Please put your hands together and welcome our coach, Nathan Buckley.
Thanks, BT. Thanks. I feel like I've given about 10 talks in the last week, but grand final week was busy. The opportunity to spruik a little bit, I suppose, about our group and about the connection that we've been able to build, the belief that we had going into last Saturday, the things that sustained us through the season, the things we've learned and understood about one another. And I think that West Coast had a very similar feeling about them. They seem to have been able to come together, and a few people have said to me tonight that we'll get there and we deserve it, and I understand that sentiment and I thank you for that sentiment, but the reality is that nothing is given, and what we get we will earn, and then we'll deserve it on the back end of that. But in that regard, tonight is an opportunity to celebrate a fantastic year, a year that we have earned a lot. Respect for one, success by making the most of what we have available to us, by finding a connection on field, off the field, in the football department, in the administration, at the football club, and far and wide through Australia and the rest of the world with supporters that bleed black and white. I think we've earned a fair bit. So to everyone involved in the Collingwood Football Club, thank you. So I did bring a little bit of notes, a few notes tonight. The people that were there on Saturday night would have understood that I spoke off the cuff, and I much prefer it that way now, to be honest, because it comes from the heart, and it was pretty raw on Saturday. By the time I got to the club on Sunday, the boys back together, and you get that feeling of camaraderie and that we're going to be okay again when you come back in as a group. And then we had exits on Monday and Tuesday, and talking to Walshy, basically all of the players come in and pretty much all of them stand up, high five, cuddles, hugging all of the coaches and support staff. And Bordy's shaking his head, no, you didn't get as many, mate, when you were in there. But you got double the amount. But that was significant because it is about that connection, it is about that bond. We have become huggers. Like, I'm more of a hugger than I've ever been in my life, and I love it. If anyone wants to cuddle later, just come up. I regret saying that already. Just wipe that off the tape. But that feeling, was back with us. Wednesday we had the club wind up, and we did some review processes today with the coaches before departing and having a little bit of time with family, friends to re-energise and to tip ourselves into our other passions so that we can come back with equal vim and vigour to attack our next season. The word that I've got at the top of my sheet here is gratitude. I cannot thank everyone enough for their contribution to the football club. I would like to thank the board from the get-go, and Ed, you seem to get everyone else to stand up, mate, so can you please stand up? I think... No, stay there, mate. You do this to others so you can stay there. No, I think like 20 years in the gig and obviously a lifetime of support for Collingwood. It's pretty hard for you because you're not there day to day, and I know you wish you could be, but the fact that you've been able to, with the boards, with your imprint and the rest of the board, put the right people in the right places in recent times. And I know that your heart swells with what we're doing, mate, but we are thankful for the time and effort that you put into it. So thank you very much, mate. And I wish I made you wait a little bit longer to get Carla to stand up next to you, but congrats, Carla. Well done. Thank you. I've got to mention Pete Murphy, who is not on the board at the moment, but may be, depending on and how that goes. But Pete, your contribution over the last 18 months in particular, through the review, your guidance and leadership has been first class. I don't know where you are, mate, but where are you? Thank you, Pete. Cheers, mate. I've got some names down here from leadership, and then I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I might need the house lights in about 5 minutes. But I've got Walshy. You've been a rock for me, mate. Initially as a senior coach and then coming back into the fold, I can't thank you enough for the guidance you've provided for me. Marcus Wagner, in your role, mate, these are the guys that are sort of in that back office area the players get to periodically. If they get past the line coaches, they sort of head down to where the head coach is. Maxi, been first class for the organisation, thank you. Shannon Collins, who the outsiders wouldn't know, but he's a big deal when you get inside. So Shan, thank you very much. Tracy O'Connor, who's Walshy's PA, he's morphed into my PA, morphed into pretty much everyone else's PA. The boys would know that she's the one that organises the tickets. The family would know that she's the one that tells you whether you've got 2, 3 or 4 left and has to say no. It's a really tough gig, but Tracy's been huge. Thank you. And what I'd like to do, and you wouldn't understand the mass of people that represent the football club. So anyone who has had a role in the football department, please, can you stand up? Stand up. Not players, not the players, just the staff. And what I will go further than that. Stay standing up, please. People that love these guys, like so close family, please, can you stand up too? That's you, V. I'm looking at you, V. So can we put some lights on so we can see just these dudes? I'd like to thank all of you on behalf of the Collingwood faithful, on behalf of myself. The amount of the expertise that these people carry is second to none. We're in really good hands in regards to the expertise that you bring in your roles, but more than that, the qualities that you bring as people make us better. So I can't thank you enough for what you brought. Thank you very much. And I was talking about the partners as well because we have embraced it and we understand how much love and support needs to take place from home to be able to support the passions of the loved ones to go and play their roles for the Collingwood Footy Club. Clearly the players have been huge. Love and care is is a part of it, and I wouldn't mind if we can start flicking those images through. But love and care has been a really strong part of what we've been able to build and what we've focused on through the environment. We began with a focus on nothing else matters, and the reason for that was just to focus on the things that we can control, the stories that we want to tell each other, the stories that we tell ourselves, rather than believing the narrative or the story that the external view of Collingwood was. We've got so many great people here, but as you see in these shots, the connection between players and staff, staff to players, staff to staff, player to player, like we are a tight unit. And nothing that happened in the last week is going to take that away. We are a tight unit. We've had a lot of people. We've had a lot of people that we brought in along our journey, and there's a photo that takes pride of place in my office. You know, Murray just there, who through his struggles with MND has taught the boys a lot about gratitude and appreciating the opportunities that they have. His family's been amazing. We've had past players come back in and speak about their experiences at Collingwood. You know, we've had hardships, you know, through our players, and don't worry, there'll be greater hardships, and there'll be continued. There's always something that is thrown in your path that actually is hard to jump over or hard to handle, hard to absorb. But if you try and deal with it one by one, it's almost impossible to work out how you're going to do that. But if you deal with it as a collective, well, then you're going to be in much better shape. So whether it's our docs, or whether it's our welfare guys, or whether it's Nilo, our boot stutter, who's an absolute gun, whether it's one of our players like Maney, who's come back after a real struggle last year, but came and performed at a high level. Whether it's Geordie, who everyone wanted us to delist at the beginning of the year, but found a way to tip back into club, was supported by his leaders, but came back and tipped back into the club. Vark's obviously losing his sister. Dunny, Goldie, Shaz doing their ACLs. Broomy breaking his leg. You know, different guys, Blairy and Reedy, who haven't had the years individually that they would have liked to have had, but maintained a team-first focus and just continued to tip into the program and give all that they had. These are all examples of people that were prepared to give all of themselves for the team and for the club, and to the players in particular. I congratulate you for what you were able to do. So we've invested in relationships, and we've focused a lot on what we're in control of. We need to do that now more than ever. The fact is that the position we find ourselves in, it can be a tough one to absorb. Even when that first video package hit us at the intro of this, we're seeing those highlights, and then the West Coast highlights come up, and it's a little bit what if? What if we'd have just been able to land that knockout blow at the end of the first quarter, or halfway through the second, or early in the last? But let's give credit to the opposition, and this isn't a West Coast function, but they deserved it, they earned it. And there were, please. And there were, I think we can come back, yeah. I think a bit more me time, please. Is that delivered dryly enough? Yeah. I think we have to realise that, and we spoke about this as a group, that we'll earn whatever we get, and we're prepared to wear that. When we fell short, we fell short. The reality is that we had opportunities to execute. I don't think we lacked heart. I don't think we lacked want. We didn't lack connection. We didn't lack effort. That stuff is unquestioned with us, and it needs to be continually tipped into to be unquestioned. But the fact was that we didn't execute well enough in key moments to take the opposition out of the game and to take luck out of the game. They played really well after half-time, but we had our moments, and we just didn't. We had 3 or 4 moments there that we did not nail, that we did not execute, that we did not complete. We need to wear that. coaches and players, as a club. We understand that, we accept that, we take it on the chin, and as bitter as it is to swallow at the moment, we'll just go and train harder. We'll keep tipping into ourselves and we'll execute better next time. So, what I will say about that, we keep turning to each other, we keep investing in each other, we show love and care, we're authentic, we're genuine, and we encourage our people to be all of themselves. And by doing that, we see the best of everyone and they contribute entirely. The fact is that if we don't invest in ourselves, if we don't put a piece of ourselves into the club or into the endeavour of go and win flags, well then we don't feel the pride and the ownership that comes along with that sacrifice or along with that investment. And the fact is you take a risk when that happens. The risk you take is you open yourself up to be hurt. All of us at some point have been vulnerable, have thrown ourselves out, whether it's in love, whether it's in a passion, but we've put it all on the line and we risk being hurt. We risk being turned back or turned down. We risk being exposing the most vulnerable parts of ourselves, and that's what we need to continually do, and we will do, because we've got the support of each other to be able to continue to take those leaps. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the hurt. Don't be afraid of the downside, because as soon as you're afraid of that, well, then you hold a little bit back, and if you hold a little bit back, you won't be given all of yourself. So I'm talking to the players, I'm talking to the staff, I'm talking to the supporters, I'm talking to all of us. Let's be prepared to continue to put it all on the line. Let's be prepared to work for our dreams and our ambitions, because there's no guarantee they're going to come. There's no deserving it. All there is earning it, and we're looking forward to, let's take our breather, let's take our time to recharge and regenerate. As a club, we should celebrate tonight. We should celebrate what we've been able to succeed. We'll celebrate the individuals that have been able to contribute at the level. But it really is a celebration of everyone that's represented the club, both at the club, on the field, off the field, and away from it in support. Congratulations to the award winners tonight. Our story's not done. Don't let anyone else tell you what our story is. We're going to chase it. We're going to explore it. We're going to find out how good we can be. Enjoy the night.